So, have you found anything interesting lately? You're gonna die when I tell you what I found. I found sourcing the other day.
So I have. I'm getting ready to hold a garage sale.
Right, we talked about this. Me too.
It is garage sale season, and I have too much nonsense that I bought last year in preparation for eBay that I never got to. Or people gave me stuff being like, "Oh, you're doing eBay here," instead of taking it to Goodwill.
So now your house is like crapped up.
Yeah, too much stuff. So I've been buying tables, and then I went to buy one, and I had an hour to kill. So obviously, I went to Salvation Army.
Obviously, where else would you go?
And I found, I have to do more research into it, but it's a mechanical hand crank coffee grinder.
Okay. Like the old school style with the wooden box?
It's got a wooden base.
Okay.
With a metal frame, and like, it's got some sticker on the bottom, like Dominican Republic or something like that. And I was like, this is unique. This is very weird. And I Google Lensed it, and I saw like 6 of them come up, anywhere from $80 to like $200.
Holy crap!
And I was like, what's the price sticker? $8, $8.99. I'm like,
definite yes.
Even if it's not one of those really high end ones, I'll take $80 for 9. Sure.
You haven't listed it yet?
I haven't done enough research or listed it. That was Friday. I bought it.
Okay.
And then it might have been Thursday. It doesn't matter. I bought it. It went into the house. It's in my stack of, this is stuff that's going to be listed. And I haven't touched it.
I see.
So, but it was a cool find either way.
Do you prioritize things that you think are going to be hot sellers?
Yes.
Okay. Me too.
If it's something I think that will either sell for over $50, or if it's something that I know, like I'm intentionally buying it because somebody is selling it for a low price, and I'm going to take better pictures and list it, it goes in my high priority, and I take care of it, get it done.
Yeah.
So, but what about you? What have you found recently?
Okay. The reason I said you're gonna die is recently you talked about a Sally Stanley pleater. I found a Dr. Joe's pleater.
Okay.
At the Salvation Army also. So Salvation Army's coming in hot this week. I don't think it's as high value as the Sally Stanley one was. But we listed that sucker last night and it sold today.
Awesome.
We paid, it was a little higher item. It was like $27.99 or something, which is higher. But we sold it for like $125 plus shipping.
That's awesome.
Yeah, isn't that crazy though? It's the era of the pleaters. So I told Hannah, I sent her a screenshot. I was like, you know, to show her it sold, because we literally just got that up last night. And it's mid-afternoon and it's, you know, already sold. So.
And that's something that normally is out of kind of your price for like.
It's on the high end. I will buy things like that. It's expensive like that if I know it's likely to get a good return. Yeah. So for instance, I bought at the same Salvation Army, I bought a vintage pressure canner. I don't know if you saw it on the table when you came over, but it's like a Harvest Gold 70s Presto. Anyway, that one was expensive too, but I'm hoping to minimum double that, if not go higher than that. So, and that's based on comps. So I will not buy a high expensive thing unless I think I can do good. But I definitely like that pleater. I'm like, oh yeah. And then I checked the comps on that one too. But after what you said, and awesome. I mean, fly off the shelves. That's insane. So if we get another one, I told Hannah I will probably start it a little higher, because we got a washer pretty quick and I let it ride. And then boom, it was sold. Yeah. So I'm thinking, we might have been able to squeeze another $10 or so out of that, maybe a little more.
But still.
But I'm not gonna complain. Like, that's really good.
Like, even after fees and all that, so $30 out the door.
We're probably gonna make $70 minimum on that, which I'm not gonna complain about at all. Like, that's excellent. So I had to tell you that. I managed to do. I did not text you. I did not text you when I found it. I did not tell you when you walked in the door today. Awesome. No, I thought you'd appreciate that.
So keep your eyes out for crafting supplies because you never know.
Yeah, and for those of you that don't know, it's a smocking pleater. Mm-hmm. So smocking, you're familiar with smocking, right?
A little bit. I've never.
It's like a billion pleats.
Yeah.
And then you like sew on top of it, or you do designs on top of it. It was really popular a long time ago, and yeah, apparently, and I understand why a pleating tool would be valuable because I can't even imagine trying to hand pleat 1 million pleats across like a blouse or something. Mm-hmm. So I get why they would be popular for people who do it, but I don't know if there's like a resurgence in smocking or if it's just people that are...
I feel there's a resurgence in people doing handcrafts.
Yeah,
overall. Maybe. Mm-hmm. Just, I mean, look at TikTok and YouTube Shorts where people are like, we're doing sewing and knitting and painting and everybody's being crafty.
Well, your sister-in-law and my friend is into embroidery now, which, you know, that it's kind of cool again. Like, and it sounds weird for those of you who are not in the craft realm, but just like everything else, crafts go in trends and cycles. Yeah. So I remember doing quilling, paper quilling. Are you familiar with this? Mm-hmm. It's a really old art, like maybe Victorian or maybe even earlier than that, to be honest. But it's like strips of paper and you twirl it and you sometimes pinch them and then you put them together and glue it into designs.
Oh, okay.
You may have seen it and just didn't know what it was called. But I remember doing that as a kid in the 90s, especially we exhibited at the county fair, so we were doing crafts all summer. And so I remember doing that, and then a handful of years ago, I saw the supplies back out again. Mm-hmm. So they went away for a while, and then boom, they're back. Yep. So you just never know.
Just as long as those hair wreath crowns don't come back. You know what I'm talking about? Where people would take like spare hair and weave them into these ornate wreaths.
I don't know if I'm familiar with that.
Oh, it's something from like the 1700s.
I'm familiar with Victorian hair work. In the context of mourning jewelry,
they would put it in like a box and hang it on the wall. And it's
maybe I have seen some of that. I know mourning. Are you familiar with mourning jewelry? Mm-hmm. Similar things. Like, so the Victorians were very about like corporeal things, body things, I guess. And we were talking about an era where photography was fledgling or not existing.
Okay.
And so when someone died, you did not have anything. Yeah. Or you maybe had a picture or two. Mm-hmm. And towards the end of the era. And so they would take clippings of hair, and then sometimes they would plait them and put them in jewelry or like a locket. Once in a while they would take like a tooth out and like make jewelry out of it. But it wasn't just for mourning, like in the case of someone who's died, but like children too. Like I think Queen Victoria don't quote me on this, but I think Queen Victoria kept like her children's teeth, like her baby teeth. My mom saved baby teeth for whatever reason.
My mom did too.
That was a thing. And but rooted in much older things. But also like, you know, giving like a lover a lock of your hair was a sign of like fidelity and bonding. So it's interesting. Yeah. But some of that stuff is very foreign to...
But then again, so like the morbid curiosity of weird just attracts people.
It's very interesting. And I think... I don't know if they still have it on display. The Henry Ford Museum in Detroit had an exhibit of like hair work jewelry, and sometimes they would braid hair like into bands. Sometimes, like I said, it would be under glass or whatever. But
yeah, same thing. It's something about hair. Just why would you? I don't know.
It's way less weird to me than teeth, I think.
Yeah,
because it's not like, I mean, it just grows. You know, it comes. Throughout your whole life, it's growing. It's not like a part of your body the way that like your tooth is, but different strokes for different folks, I guess. There's some things that I'm okay with.
It's like when I've seen where people have gotten their hips replaced, and then they'll keep the hip bone to turn into a cane and stuff, and it's like, I get it, it's your own leg, but that's
a little weird.
Anyway.
But you know, if that's you, you do you.
So
as long as you're getting that leg bone the legit way.
Yeah. What are you doing with that shovel, sir?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was an actual risk at one point.
So, how have your eBay sales been this week?
Well, pretty good considering we just sold that pleater, boom, out of the way, or like right away. But that was the top thing. There have been we have a few things that we're gonna have to pack tomorrow. I think we have, as of the last time I checked, this is a Sunday. We're filming on a Sunday, and tomorrow we have about half a dozen things to pack.
Nice.
They vary in price. Some of them are lower.
Yeah.
Obviously the pleater's the highest one, but okay, we're still trying to get back into a good schedule. Hopefully Hannah and I can knock out a bunch. I did some sourcing, as I've implied, the last couple of days. I did some garage selling yesterday, and also stopped at one of the Goodwills and picked up some good stuff there too. So hopefully we'll be getting back to our really regular and get our sales up, but they've been okay. How about you?
Overall okay as well. I took one day this past week and I said, all I'm doing is listing. I spent like 3 hours listing stuff or prepping stuff to list, and that just was so nice. And then I had extra pictures to last me for a couple days. Stuff that's under a pound, that way I don't have to weigh it or worry about boxes. And then over the next couple of days when it was slow at work, I was able to just sit there and list a couple items, and so that was great because I haven't done that in ages.
Do you use the scheduling feature?
No.
No?
No, I just list. I don't worry about scheduling, because to me, I'd rather just take pictures, list items. I don't care about trying to hit a certain number each day, just because if I get it prepped and it's all ready, I might as well just list it. That's just my
thought is, like, if we have a bunch, I like to list it so that we have one going live every day, which keeps the algorithm like, oh, they're posting regularly.
Yeah, but at the same time, if I didn't have time to go and list, I'm really not going to have time to go and pack that item as well.
Oh, I see.
So it's kind of like and so I just try to make it a habit of mine. I try to list at least one item every day. Realistically, I shoot for 3. But it doesn't always happen. In fact, I think this week, it was like Monday I listed a whole bunch, and Thursday I listed like 5, and then Wednesday I listed like 6. That was it, and it's just been hodgepodged in there, and now we're on Sunday, and I did nothing on Friday and nothing on Saturday.
Weekends are hard sometimes, especially we're getting into the nice weather season.
We're getting into the nice weather. We're having other responsibilities to do, our own other projects at the house, and so or sourcing, and so it just didn't happen. Tonight, I'm hoping to list my usual 3, but it's how it goes. So I also got to pack. I also got to pack the items I sold over the weekend, but not as good as that. I think I have 4.
Well, that's not too bad though. And day's not over.
Nope, so, day's not over.
Never know. I've heard that Sunday afternoons are a good time to sell stuff, like for eBay sales. So it's sure not.
People are chilling at home after the weekend.
Yeah, they don't want to be out as much because it's Sunday. They're preparing for their work day Monday, probably. Yeah. But anyway, to go back a little bit, you said you're hosting a garage sale. And again, I said I am too. Some of the stuff we're going to be selling is personal stuff, and some of it's going to be business stuff. Is yours business only?
No, not realistically.
So how do you keep your finances, your business finance? How are you going to keep your business finances separate from your personal finances, or don't you? So like in the context, especially of like a garage sale.
In the context of a garage sale, I'm not going to worry about it.
No?
No. Because the money that I spent to get those items, at the end of the day, they either were going to go back into my business or they were going to go into my pocket anyway. And I have my business as sole proprietor. I actually don't have an LLC either. So realistically, it's all the same money. And anything that I'm going to sell in that garage sale, most of that money is going toward upgrades I want to do for the pole barn where my eBay inventory is anyway. So it's
kind of going towards. So it's almost even your personal stuff is going towards your business.
It's anyway. It's self-beneficial all the way around, so I'm not worried about it. Plus, almost everything in that garage sale, I paid with cash anyway, and people are going to be giving me cash, so I'm not worried about it. But if for your garage sale, You're doing...
I'm going to keep it separate probably.
Yeah.
And I think there's extra couple layers here. So for one, my business involves another entity, so Hannah. Mm-hmm. And it's true that some of our business stuff started out as personal stuff and we transferred it over. Mm-hmm. But if it was listed on eBay, because we're also going to take stuff that is listed on eBay mm-hmm. to just see if we can get rid of it, stuff that's been around or it's taking up too much space or for whatever reason we want to liquidate if we can. So I probably will keep the business stuff basically how I guess, not to be too blah, blah, wordy, but I usually, when I have a garage sale, I write down what sells and for how much. And often there's different entities there. So, multiple people will bring stuff over or whatever. Mm-hmm. So in this case, like my in-laws, my sister-in-law and my in-laws, my husband's parents are going to bring some stuff over. Hannah and I have some stuff that is going to be in there, and Joe. And then we have the business stuff on that. Mm-hmm. So there's like 3 categories minimum. And I don't know if my parents will bring anything over, but so there's still like divisions that we have to make anyway to separate the money out for the other people. So I think we'll just figure out a way to like denote what was our business, keep that in a business column. That way I can see 1, if we lost any money on anything, and 2, what we would make, and then we hand it. What I intend to do is whatever we make from the business stuff, if anything, Hannah and I will just split at the end of the sale probably. Yeah. So it is a little more complex, if only because there's 2 people involved. And it's not like me and my husband, it's me and my sister. So the finances are separate. I
was just going to because if I'm selling something, I don't worry about, I have to earn certain money for that. I'm just going to sell it through my business. Mm-hmm. Because I don't want to worry about paying me a certain percentage of that money because I'm essentially double taxing myself that way. Mm-hmm. I'd rather just donate the items to my business and it's all my business funds and I don't worry about it. That way, so I also have multiple people bringing stuff over and so it was like, I can just buy 10 different colors, 500 stickers of each color, $15, and then just put 1 color of sticker on every single item. That's mine, and I don't have to worry about it because I'm not going to be there for every day of the sale too. And I'd hate to go, by the way, you have to write down it's just, if I was more involved with it, I probably would, because it'd be nice to be like, have certain numbers running as a total and be like, oh, okay, I lost money or earned money or whatever. I'm just not worrying about it.
Yeah, if the stickers come off, it might be easier if we just pull them off and like stick them on the notebook and then just note what it is. But like I said, at minimum, I need to keep my in-laws' money separate from ours, separate from our personal, because like anything we sell out of our house that's just our personal items will just go right to me and Joe in our bank account, and same with Hannah. And then like I said, our business stuff, I need to know how much we made so that I know how much to split with Hannah. So I'm not going to worry about like putting it into our business account and all that. It'll be like, here's $50, we each made 25, something like that. I'm hoping some of the stuff goes good. And also, my other thought with like having other people over is like the variety of stuff will be wider, which I think will be good. And our garage sale is a little different than yours in that we're involved in a community garage sale. So my address will be listed on a map.
Nice.
Locally for people who are coming to our community garage sale. So I'm hoping, crossing my fingers. I live close to a downtown area, which is helpful, but I don't live on the main street, which is less helpful. So other than the road work around here, diverting people who would not normally come through our neighborhood, we wouldn't get a lot of just incidental traffic. So I'm hoping that the map thing helps, but we'll see.
I don't know, stick a sign down there on the main drive.
The city that I live in is so picky about signs, so I gotta look up the regulations on that, but I'm hoping there's some commercial lots down the side street. Woo, our lights. Down the side street, and I'm hoping that I can just pop one down there next to the stop sign or something and see it, because I would like to increase the incidental traffic, but I'm also hoping that just because it's a community sale, someone's organizing it and putting addresses on a map, that'll be helpful. So I'm probably going to have to list it on Craigslist too.
Do Facebook too.
Yeah. So.
Anyway,
what about in your like day-to-day life? How do you deal with like money, like personal, keeping your finances? Like, does your business have its own finances compared to your personal life?
All of my eBay sales go into its own account. It's all separate. Mm-hmm. And then for my finances themselves, I actually have the main checking account where everything comes in, everything goes out. I have the savings account where I will put around 20%, not on a hard basis, but like every month I'll look at how much around came in and I'll just lob in there about 10, 15, 20% of whatever came in because taxes at the end of the year.
Sam needs to cut.
And then, so I've read most of, I haven't finished it, this book about paying yourself first. Mm-hmm. And so for a good while, I was actually pulling money back out and putting 10% of whatever I made in addition to that into a third account. So that way, that 10% was essentially how I was paying myself. Mm-hmm. And then everything else was operational cost. Like if I had $2,000 into the account, well, that meant I have $2,000 in checking. I'm not even looking at the other numbers because that's just how much money is available for if I need to go buy supplies or if I want to go invest in something like a box of video games or who knows what. And anything from that, I'm just turning around into more business profit. So it's all in one account. And then if I needed cash to go do anything, like there have been times I use my company card, my debit card, and I just buy something because I don't care. I'm paying myself because I'm spending $40 on something for me. And then transfer it in my own time, but I don't worry too much about keeping a hard division aside from anything I get for my business comes off that card. Like, mm-hmm. There have been times I use my own personal funds and then I have to go get cash and pay my business or pay myself what my business would have spent. But I try to keep it separate just for my own sake, not really for a hard numbers sake, if that makes sense.
Yeah, ours has evolved. So mm-hmm. Again, we started a year ago. When we were starting, obviously there was no business money. It mm-hmm. was just our money. And Joe and I mostly have been the funders of that. And what it would do is we would store, well, that's not 100% true. Our first major thing that ended up pushing us into the business end was that print block lot. And mm-hmm. Hannah and I split that 50-50. Mm-hmm. But after that, a lot of times I just used our money, and then when it sold, I would pay myself back after it sold. So the payback would come off the top, and then we would split the remainder for our money. Over time, we've gotten a bank account that we use as our company bank account. Mm-hmm. We've started setting aside that, like I said, that for a while it was a little bit more, but around 20% for taxes is usually what I do. So if eBay pays us, I take 20%, move it to the savings that's attached to that checking account. Mm-hmm. That's our tax money. And then the rest of the money sits in there, and we do payouts. So we don't have any sort of like hard and fast rule about percentage payouts or even when we pay out. It's mm-hmm. not like we go every Tuesday or, every day. It's a little irregular. How much our payouts are usually depend on how much money we've made that week and whether or not we can take a larger payout, mm-hmm. or if last time we gave us a small payout, so this week we're getting a bigger one. And with that, we just decide however much we're going to take out and then split it.
Yeah.
Between me and Hannah. But
so that way you have like a floating operational cost.
We leave some money in there for stuff. So mm-hmm. if we buy, for instance, I'll come back to this, I guess. We have a company credit card too. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times if I'm going thrifting, I just use the company credit card. And even if I'm buying something for myself, I'll just pay personally. I'll pay that amount on the card or whatever. like I'll make a payment out of our personal account or whatever, is what I'm saying there. It gets a little sticky because a lot of times when I'm buying things for the business, whether that's sourcing or whether that's, like today we went to Sam's Club, they had bubble wrap on sale and packing tape on sale. So I got both of those things for our business. Well, we also needed canned dog food and some other stuff for our personal life. And so, because I'm too lazy to do multiple orders, and we were using Scan and Go, so I did that on my and Joe's credit card, and then I'll have to take money from the business to pay us back. And like, again, it gets a little sticky sometimes because we went garage selling yesterday, and I had cash in the house that was our personal cash. So to avoid having to run to the bank, I just used my personal cash for everything I bought yesterday, and now I'm gonna have to do the annoying math of, well, the business owes us and we owe the business, and it's a little annoying, but so I haven't gotten smoother.
I will say one thing I've done with cash, because I am sick of, like, I don't want to carry two different separate things of cash in my wallet. Yeah. So I don't worry too much about it. But I have an envelope that this is business cash. But if I have personal cash and I buy something that's for the business, I just take business cash and cover it.
That's a good idea. I should get out like $100 in ones.
Yeah, yeah. And that way, like...
And some quarters.
Yeah, or even just, I have like 20s. And so I spent $15 at a garage sale. I'll just take a 20 out of my business cash, throw a 5 in there and call it good. And it's not a hard pressed line, but I already pulled this money out of the ATM to have for garage selling. I might as well just keep it separate as opposed to always floating in my wallet for when I go out to garage sales, because it's a lot of money to be lugging around.
Yeah, I'm not gonna, it's annoying. It is annoying having to like keep track. And I think sometimes when Hannah and I are both at the thrift store, one of us will go through and buy the business stuff, and the other one will buy all their personal stuff, which makes it a little easier. But a lot of times I am by myself. So it's like...
I need two different checkouts. I don't
want to do that. So I end up playing this stupid game of trying to like pay back and not and move back and forth. But it is what it is. But if I were to just like, let's say we went to Sam's Club and I only was getting the business stuff, I would have just used the business debit or credit and called it. So when it's cut and dry, this is only business, this is only personal, it's hardline separate, and then otherwise there's like this cash transfer game, but overall we try to keep the business separate. And so now the business buys our stock, not our personal money buying our stock, which for the first several months was our money. So now there's far fewer paybacks. So like when we sell something, I don't have to keep figuring out I gotta pay myself $5 here, and I don't have to worry about that anymore.
I didn't worry about that at all, just because I was like, I don't care. This is my own stuff, or
you're by yourself, which is helpful.
And I'm by myself, so it just made it easy for me to just go. I spent $5 on this, and I just put down as business cost, because overall it's benefiting me.
Yeah, and I think with our case, like, I don't want to like, I bought something for $5 and then I have to ask Hannah for $2.50 so that when it sells we can split the money 50-50. So I just paid myself back because it was easier than adding an extra layer of complexity and making her. It is. Yeah. Anyway, so that's what we do. But anyway, that was pretty good conversation. Yeah. It's interesting. I don't think we've ever talked about that before.
No, I don't think so. Maybe we have, and it's just been
call us out if we're very forgetful. But anyway, do you have anything else to say today?
No,
I think that's a good place to cut it.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for joining us again for the Secondhand Seller Podcast. Again, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Klayton.
Happy thrifting. Join us again next week. Like and subscribe below. That helps us out. And talk to us. Leave us some comments. Let us know how your stuff's going. Do you keep your finances separate from your business and your personal? We'd love to know. Yeah. Have a great day.
See ya.
Bye.